We don't use the language of technology when we talk about indigenous cultural production, but these are in fact technologies, right? Like the way that this fabric is made is hundreds of years of wisdom that has come out in what you're looking at. I want to share that with the world. It's not just like, here, buy a dress. Like, I want you to know where it comes from, who are the people that made it, what are the ways in which it's passed through hundreds of years of steps to get to your hand. Well, my name is Busayo. Olua is God. Busayo means added to our joy. It just means that like we were happy, things were going well, and then you came along and you added to it. I was actually born in Boston, Massachusetts. My father was a student. He was a grad student. I came from Nigeria to study at Boston University, and they had me and they had my sister. And then after he graduated, we moved back to Nigeria. So I moved back to Nigeria when I was 3 years old. But when I was 12 years old, he got a job in California. So it was a very difficult transition. I remember the hair I wore when we first got from Nigeria was like royally mocked, right? Like I would get called all these names. And the clothes, I remember I wore like one of these Adire dresses and it was like, what is she wearing? What's on her hair? And the same things that were mocked when I was a kid is how I'm making my living, you know? The inspiration was really about I wanted a reason to go back to Nigeria all the time. That was it. That was like really simple. So I started learning to dye because I needed to do something while I was in Nigeria. And then the business piece was really knowing that I was an artist and I was a creative person. And frankly, working as a lawyer was not feeding that part of who I was at all.
Good. Switch to the other side.
Good. Step in. Good. Go. Stick. Jab, cross, hook. Go. Step in. Yes.
And then 2011, I started learning how to dye. So we have a tradition in our culture called adire, which adire literally means to tie and dye. And so I just started spending more time going to learn to apprentice, working with different artisans in Nigeria. And at the time, I just was like, doing little basic designs and things like that. At the time, I knew nothing about fashion. Simultaneously, I'm a lawyer, right? Very kind of conservative environment. For more creative fields, sometimes we just feel like we don't know like what the first step is. And so I got a book, took classes at FIT, and then I started going back to Nigeria and working on the product and making the pieces. And those were all the pieces that I needed to at least take that first step. So I leave the law firm job. For the next 3 years, I make all the mistakes that you shouldn't make when you start a fashion brand, which are many. I'm working full time on this brand and throwing a lot of money at it. And 2015, I had to have a really difficult conversation with myself, which was the money is running out. And if you want to continue to live off of this business, it's actually not possible. So I had to get a job. And so I had to take my law degree off the shelf and kind of go back out in the marketplace looking for another job, which for an entrepreneur can be really painful. But it was the biggest blessing in a way because it gave me peace of mind to be able to create and not say like, if I don't sell this dress, I'm not gonna, eat today. Like it just removed a lot of anxiety around my business and allowed me to create in a way that was a little bit more kind of relaxed. And I started enjoying the business more. It's not that your passion or your business is secondary to whatever it is that you need to be doing to make money. It's just your second, obligation, and I would literally finish at the office and come home and do another like 5 hours working on the business. Are we so deviating from what we have here, right? But I love her sleeves. Like she has kind of like this really cool bell sleeve. COVID happened, and it was really a huge turning point in a way. It was really difficult for us, but it was also kind of really great because it gave me time to really spend time on the business because obviously everything was shut down. So I was so much more focused on the business. And then I think more people discovered us in 2020. Saks, we signed up with Saks in 2020. Madonna wore one of our pieces in 2020, which was just Whew, just an insane experience for me. Before Saks came in 2020, I did not have access to the marketplace beyond what was possible online. Taking the business and presenting it online digitally and trying to incorporate best practices in terms of how to reach the consumer significantly transformed the business. And in fact, I think allowed the business to keep going. The opportunity to digitally connect with the world and with consumers all around the world is really what kept our business going and what allowed people to find us and allowed people to discover us and allowed us to be able to tell a brand narrative. We'd been working with Saks, and then they reached out and said they would love to invite us to be a part of their New Wave Accelerator program, which they were starting with the support of MasterCard. And it was incredible. It was one of the best experiences I can honestly, I've had as an entrepreneur. So they were giving us access to entrepreneurs who've been in the industry for a very long time. You're a small company, you're mighty. These are people that have been around for 10, 15, 20, 30 years. And these are some of the things that they have to teach you and offer, and these are some of the things that you can emulate. Yeah, so the Digital Doors program, when they came, they did a presentation and shared with us some of the resources that were available at MasterCard for our business. I really loved the diagnostic tool, which was like a way for you to assess whether or not your business was kind of presenting itself digitally in the strongest way possible. So from, first of all, the kind of customer facing standpoint, but also from a cybersecurity standpoint, from, right, are you safeguarding all of the parts of your business from, cyber predators and things like that? And also kind of set some benchmarks in terms of like, these are the ways that, and kind of best practices in the industry, and are you using them? So that was like a really wonderful way to kind of analyze our business. It's been a long journey. I think so much of the things that were wonderful about the accelerator and MasterCard coming in and really teaching us and giving us all these tools to like, how do we make sure that what we're using to interact with the public to accelerate our growth? It's been really like a wonderful resource to be able to kind of participate in and use. Does she speak to particular people? This kind of journey of going back to Nigeria and really beginning to work with both the people that make the clothes, our makers there, and also the artisans, and really thinking about how can I help create larger economic opportunity, both here and in Nigeria, right? That's like my number one. But the secondary is like, how do I create this space in which people can learn is really special. My father is of the mind, he says, culture is like smoke. Once you've created it, it is out and you cannot contain it. When I created the brand, I knew that adire to me is an art form. It's our way of transforming textiles in a Yoruba context. But I also knew that I wanted to create clothes for every woman. For women that understand color and are really excited about print and really understand like the importance of this kind of energy and get it, like our clothes are for them. All I ask for, and the reason that we do a lot of work, is that you understand where the clothes come from, you understand the cultural context from which it comes. And so many of the clothes, like this piece I'm wearing, is really inspired by my artistry. This one's like inspired by paintball. Some are things that I've drawn. And so it's not really always so culturally specific, but I would say 95% of our clothes are for everybody and the things that I want to see in the world. When I was thinking about naming the business, I was having a really difficult time. And then I thought about what I wanted the business to be. What did I want it to do? What did I want it to inspire in our customers? And it was joy. It was dynamic energy. It was a bounce in their step. I wanted to bring a certain energy to your wardrobe. And so I thought about it. I was like, actually, I want Busayo to add, I wanted it to add joy. That's what I want the brand to do. When you step out in the morning, one of our dresses, I want you to have a little bit of joy and energy in how you present yourself to the world.